It's a pleasure and honor to be here to have a communion and blending of this days and the energies here with everyone. As I speak, if you have heard me before, I speak with inspiration, I speak from the heart. So what you will discover is not only for you, but it is for me as well. Reflecting back on this last month, since we are into this beautiful season of thunderstorm, rain, and cloud and overcast, I was in Casadega driving through one of our main streets, Stephen Street, and right on Stephen Street is Spirit Pond. And as I looked to the left, I saw this beautiful rainbow, and I took a picture of it. And I admired it, appreciated it, and then life went past. And just last week or so ago, I woke up in the morning on my regular 3:30, 3:45 a.m. and I was looking at the picture. I was wanting to do something creative, and that's usually my time of my spiritual communication, that first download in the morning that occurs, and I'm like looking at this and saying, you know, I'm looking at this picture I took so many days ago. Probably this rainbow still exists somewhere. And that was the trigger of the thought that what we will explore today is alignment with oneness and how things just are. So when I had this moment of aha, I had to sort of kind of crawl into that hole a little bit deeper to find out where this feeling and emotion and where it is. Perhaps that is the concept behind our minds at this point today is everything exists at all given times. And I read and heard before several times, everything that we need to know or we need to understand or need to experience already exists. Already exists. So for me, that was the thought, and I was like, it just made me those little goosebumps, a little butterfly. Like, oh, that's a wonderful thought, it's something. But it allowed me to understand, should that thought be a download from spirit or the greatness of life, how do I investigate it? How do I reflect on it? And how do I perpetuate with it? How do I move from that point forward? And I trust and believe that each and everyone in this room have those aha moments or where they've recognized something and wanted to explore, but then life is life. So as I'm reflecting on this thought in this last 2-3 days, because I know there's something on the inside of me is wanting to talk about this, something on the inside is wanting to stimulate the thought pattern. And the idea is everything always exists. Just like the rainbow existed that day and it disappeared, does that mean it no longer exists there? But what followed through that thought was the greatness of alignment. In that perfect moment, all the aspects of physics and the natural law took place for some of us to use our physical lens of eye to witness that rainbow. That rainbow perhaps exists somewhere else right now, but it is there. It may take a certain conditioning of the mind and the elements of the nature and the elements of vibration to bring it back into the alignment so that we can witness it again. Just like on a clear day, you just can't say the clouds don't exist. They are there, but they are just in a matter where we cannot see them. And that's a very stimulating thought. How do we take ourselves in and out of alignment for our own sense of progression? That's a whole another story, but as we go into this aspect of alignment, those rainbows are also symbolic to the virtues of our life, what we want from our life, what the results that we are seeking are all out there. How do we align ourselves to accomplish them? That becomes the process, and that process becomes exciting. That process becomes wonderful. That becomes magical. It becomes, how far can I stretch myself? How far can I take my resistance to that place where either I go back, withdraw, or I keep on trying? How far can I push myself? But within those senses of alignment is where we find breakthroughs, where we find that we figure out who we are, we understand what we are made of, and there are the great discoveries. So as we work through the alignments, just to give you some common examples, If the wheels on the cars are not properly aligned, well, now they not only make noise, but they wear and tear uneven, creating an expense. This machinery of a human body, if it is not in proper alignment, does create nuances that can be life lessons, or that can be just simply aggravating, or that could be just simply is an experience, nothing more, nothing less. But as soon as we bring those things in alignment, we take this car to the alignment shop, we get the wheels aligned, it starts to run fine, it's no longer wobbly, that there's no rattling noise while you drive it, and the wear and tear is less. Subsequently, the nuances and the expenses are less. The physical body is a little bit more intricate than just taking it to the alignment shop at the wheel shop. One aspect affects the other aspects, and the other aspects just magnify something else. So you have to like go on a goose chase, on a subconscious thought of your plane of existence, to where that thing is perpetuating. But the laws of nature and the laws of vibration, just as our religion is based heavily on the natural laws and the practices thereof, would allow you to just sort of go and sit and dissect your own existence at a level. Am I really where I am supposed to be, or am I really who I am at all given times? If I'm not, then who am I? And if I figure out who am I as opposed to who I really am, will allow you to understand why things are out of alignment. You may be doing something for the sake of the outwardly reasons, ignoring that inner child, the inner you, the core of you, the being that exists inside of you. Taking that out of vibration, pushing that out of alignment, and then everything else is Pandora's box after that. So once things go out of alignment, it can be an easy fix, but usually it takes consistency, it takes effort, it takes energy, it takes perseverance to bring things back in alignment. The funny part is that in our lives we try to not only bring ourselves into alignment, but we try to portray as that is the only thing. But that is not necessary, because we are all individuals, we are all unique human beings. We all have the same frequencies and vibrations to resonate and work within, yet our responses, our impetus is different. We can completely see the rainbow, and the person right next to you may not see the rainbow. It's just the way you position yourself in life. Somebody is very fond of roses, and the other person has a sour feeling with roses. It's the rate of vibration that we resonate with. So within the laws of the vibrations, as simply as I can bring forward, is to know who you are and to understand where this journey is leading us up to. Everything that is occurring to us, is within our experiences. It's our alignment to how we see and how we perceive things. I was just reflecting prior to the start of the service, and I was given this little example in my thought process, but I'm not sure how it aligned, but I'm going to share it because you may have a resonance to it. There are so many skin conditions that a human body has. Pigmentation, acne, so and so forth, and the other conditions of albinism where there's no pigmentation at all. But here we are all sitting in this room with a different shade of the same oneness. The Creator has expressed Himself through all of us in different shapes and sizes, different color swatches, different DNA genetics, and different aspects of life. Yet we are all here gathering, trying to resonate in our own minds and our own sense of spiritual walk to wherever we are connected and however we are resonating with it. That's how I see, and that's how I see forward. The oneness and the alignment with the oneness is historically have been drafted through all major religions and all unidentified religious practices. Everybody is on the same journey, wanting to do something magnificent to create that. But all the group efforts are sort of tweaked in their own way. The Christ as a healer brought so many people in alignment just because he had that ability as a healer to bring forth those changes for somebody else. There have been other many healers throughout our historical timelines that have created that possibility. Muhammad itself in his Islamic belief had to go into the silent private quarters of privacy to receive the knowledge download that he needed for his followers, his believers, the people that were counting upon him. The disciples of Christ went on lonely, separated places to seek silence within themselves. Perhaps they were seeking alignment more than the silence itself. They were trying to be one with that unidentified great energy, the infinite source, to figure out where they were in the whole process. Is this the journey that I'm supposed to be, or where else I have to be? There is a great sense of wonderment. Buddha's life, having everything under his umbrella, the prosperity, the abundance, yet he chose to follow a pathway that not only enlightened himself, but it touched upon many, many people down the ages up to this day. There is an alignment within those teachings. There is alignment in any of those teachings. But how we perceive ourselves, how we see ourselves, how we choose to resonate within those aspects of life. Any life scenario that you are experiencing currently, by classical training from our childhood, we separate between the polarities of good, bad, yes, no, favorable, unfavorable, so on and so forth. But where is the middle path? Where is the path that is yours? And that is the key factor. But as I further reflect on the alignment and oneness with it, we have to understand, as a country, as a nation, as an organization, as spiritual bodies, as homes and private things, we are working in groups. We are working with other energies that are finding their own alignment at different rate of vibration. And thus it becomes very essential to understand the laws of blending. The River of Life, the book that is in your library, has a law of blending. And the law of blending is primarily when you come together and you blend your positive aspects and you blend your strengths and you move forward and you become more cohesive. And just recognizing, yes, everybody is on their own journey, but this is my strong suit, this is what I need to bring forward. Just like in the greatness of any invention, just imagine Thomas Edison gave up in his first 100 attempt of creating the light bulb. Maybe we won't have these chandeliers, just sunlight would be enough. All those great explorers, if they would have not pushed on their personal self, we may not have known great things about our geography. We may not have the laws of physics. All these chemistries would be different. Just taking it further down, you go to the core of the earth. We find in the compressed, carbonized vibration, we find jewels such as diamonds. Just understand, they do exist, but it takes certain alignment of certain processes to create that gem. And even though when you bring that gem out, you still have to put through an expert's processing to create the real gem that is further sold down the process through the food chain. Everybody impacts everybody. We are all in relationship with each other. Not as a human being, inanimate or animate objects alike. The chair that you sit, you have created a relationship today. The chair that is sitting in this room has created a relationship with this room. This room that was built by laborers has a relationship to their energies. What were they feeling when they put this brick and mortar in this place? How their personal family situations were. Each individual brought their energy and left their imprint here. And thus we perpetuate our life similarly. So when we work as groups and organizations that have to present something out there to motivate people, to encourage people's lifestyle, we have a great responsibility. We have a great responsibility first to ourselves to know what my own personal vibration is before I step in and bring that vibration forward as a group or to the group itself. So understanding the laws of relationships within this room, as explained, applies everything. The same thing goes on at the home. You go to the produce store, you buy the produce, you pay the money, but you established a relationship with that food chain. Where they came from, where the workers are they happy, are they sad, how they are leaving the energy there, are they griping about working on that farm, and so forth. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. Right now, if you could see, as a sensitive individual, all our energies are blending. We have all connected in this consciousness of conversation. But yet, everybody is tapping into that vibration on an individual level, to your own sense of growth and perspective with it. But the idea is, the oneness is the beautiful point and place where we all, at some given point and some part of our journey, we tap in, tune in, and we just move on from that point and place. But my journey is no less important than yours. And my experience is no greater than any one of you, and vice versa. A few months ago, I sat in a conversation with Yahweh, a channeled energy through an experience, and as I sat through this energy, the question came about my spiritual journey. And I was said to understand, if I put my hand on the tree, what do I feel? If I put my hand on this table, do I feel anything? If I think about the squirrel on the tree, how am I engaged with that energy? Until I learn or train myself or open myself to the idea that as soon as I lay my hand on this, I become one with it. As soon as I make an eye contact with any one of you, I'm blending, I'm making that energy as mine. I would have to still keep working on my sense of spirituality. That conversation has sort of shifted my world inside out, a way of understanding things, because the journey that I'm on is my own. And if I don't push myself to learn and grow and understand, I may be that seed that stays frozen in the ground for many, 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 many years. Soon we'll see fall. The vibrations of life will get contained within the branches. Yet, when alignment of proper climate conditions will occur, those leaves will come out. They will grow new branches, they will grow new fruit. They will bear the promises that are given to us. You have to bring yourself in alignment. So please, as you move on to the life today, even though tomorrow is a Labor Day, and we have recognized it many years ago as a federal holiday, but just like that rainbow, we are celebrating Labor Day, the first Monday of September since 1894. The other parts of the world call it an International Workers' Day, and it is celebrated on May 1st. In the US, that May Day has a different connotation, but has a sense of humor within it. Across the pond, there are many countries and nations that are celebrating the same idea of celebrating labor-intensive work and the unity of organization and coming together of brotherhood of workers, just like we are doing tomorrow. Just like I saw that rainbow, other billions of people may not have seen the rainbow. We are celebrating our Labor Day today, but the rest of the world is going to celebrate next May 1st. It doesn't matter what day of the week it falls, May 1st is the Labor Day. And there are many, many, many countries that will celebrate that. Similar philosophy of recognizing hard work and the labor-intensive lifestyle. Bringing ourselves in alignment is a really, really hard work. You have to give up, let go, release, not look back, disengage, forgive. keep moving forward. Time may be an illusion, but yet the clock always goes forward. We don't go back to 2015, 2 years from today. You're going to move forward. It's still an illusion, but yet within that illusion, the aspiration is to go forward. So where you sit in your journey, celebrate yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back that you chose today to witness and introspect on yourself, not the words that are given from me as a person, but to reflect them in your own journey, to reflect them at your own level of consciousness, and that you will make a choice to at least sit with that energy, even for 5 minutes. You will allow it to settle in and let you move to the next best place in your life. Thank you for being here.